with males on working for the large and evil corporation. We are going through a big cultural change at the moment, as you might be seeing us in the news. Hopefully some good's going to come from it. So first I want to start with a big thank you to the organisers of this evening. You're making a real difference in the way giving people an opportunity to get started in their talking. I've just come from a data visualisation conference, and of the 14 speakers, 2 were women. One of those women presented in a partnership with a man. So by my calculations, 2 out of 14, that's lame. So thank you very much for tonight, it's amazing. So what I'm talking about is engaging people in data visualization. I could give you a whole techie talk about, you know, the algorithms and the techniques and the coding and the graphic design. But really what I've found over the years is you can do all of that and it goes nowhere unless you get people excited about what you're doing. So this is my quick and dirty guide to getting people excited about what you're doing in database. So broadly speaking, gross generalization, there are 2 types of data visualization. The explanatory and the exploratory. So the explanatory is what we use when you've got a specific question in mind, right? How do we maximize something? How do we minimize our costs? How do we maximize our profits? Should we invest in this product or that product? Should we hire this person or that person? Should we expand into this new market? What will the weather be tomorrow? Right? These are all specific questions that you can build a model or do a piece of analysis to answer. But where I find myself drawn to more and more recently is the exploratory model, or as I call it, the and this is what you do when you don't really have any specific question in mind. You just kind of know that there's a space over there that you don't really know how big and how deep and how wide it is, but you really feel like if you knew more about it, you could drive some value. So, I'm going to talk about 3 quick steps to getting people engaged. The first is make it cool. Frankly, we are all susceptible to wanting the latest new thing. Make it clear, make it easy for people to say yes to you. And make it compelling. Once you've got people interested, once they've understood what it's there, give them that little bit more. Give them more than they thought you were going to. So each of these elements applies at different stages of the development cycle. So the first is the pitch. This is where you get to pretend you're in Hollywood, you're pitching your new film. It's like Raiders of the Lost Ark, but in space, right? You know, give people something tangible to kind of hold on to. So I'll just give you an example of something that I did not make. The New York Times made this, but I used it to pitch an idea to some people at work and get them excited. So what this is across the bottom here, it's a chart basically showing how people's jobs have changed over time since the recession hit. At the moment, it just looks like a mess of data. But when I open up the website, it's pretty, isn't it? Because you can just hear every executive go, oh, imagine if I stood up in the board meeting, showed them that. So what you've got along here, the x-axis is the lower to higher wages, and what you've got along the y-axis is jobs that decreased and jobs that increased in green. I'm not going to go into the detail of it right now, but you can kind of roll over and get a whole lot of information. Just wanted to give you an example of the kind of thing that you can use to pitch. You can say, it's like this, but with more bar charts. You know, whatever you think is going to excite people. So once you've got permission to play, you want to go in and build a prototype. And the real key thing about the prototype is to make it clear. So I'm going to give you an example of the prototype that I built just recently to look at our online customer journeys. So you've got the nodes across the center of the page represent the different pages on our website. The loops that go between them represent user journeys, and the thickness of the loops represents the number of customers making that journey. So this is absolutely minimum viable product. It doesn't actually do or say anything. The data is fake, but what it does do is deliver the information in a really clear way. It helps people buy into the process. So I had a whole third stage, but that doesn't fit into 5 minutes. So you can grab me in the bar later and find out what that is.